What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Grey Talks Wrestling, coming back at you with another retro review. It's time to talk about 1993's Royal Rumble from the WWF. For me, I really enjoyed this show from start to finish. Really good. The undercard was really good, and the Rumble itself was very enjoyable. Not a problem. This wasn't my favourite Royal Rumble of all time, but it was a very good, solid Royal Rumble. Let's have it right. For the first time ever, the winner of the Royal Rumble would go on to WrestleMania to challenge the WWF champion. So there was big stakes on this show. This show is important. This show in history has its place, definitely. A solid Royal Rumble all over, in my opinion. Starts off with a decent tag match. The Steiner Brothers, their first pay-per-view debut in the WWF, defeating the Beverly Brothers in a very good tag match. You know what I've said about the Beverly Brothers, if you've watched previous videos, you know I rate the Beverly Brothers. Always have done, always will do. They're a decent team, decent hand. They get the job done. This was a good match with the Steiner Brothers. My goodness. How good were the Steiner Brothers? Underrated, in my opinion. We don't talk about enough how great they were and how great Scott Steiner was at this time. The moves he was pulling out, like, you just weren't seeing anyone else do at this time. It was just phenomenal. Just watching everything he did, and that Frankensteiner, Hurricane Run, or whatever we're calling it, my goodness, he drops him on his head. It's just phenomenal. Gets the win. Yeah, loving the Steiner Brothers and everything they're doing in 1993. Fantastic. Can't wait to watch more of them. They were great in WCW. I'm happy that now they're in the WWF. I can't wait to watch this run as well again. It's going to be phenomenal. I know it will be. Yeah, this was a very good match to open the show. Yeah, we know the Steiner Brothers, adding them to your tag team division just boosts it right up. I mean, it was getting a bit sloppy, let's have it right, at the end of 92 with the tag teams they had. Adding the Steiner Brothers in there with the emergence of the Head Shrinkers as well. Some very good tag teams right there to bolster your tag team division, because what else have you got? Money Inc. The only other decent team, in my opinion. The Natural Disasters are on their way out. Same with the Nasty Boys. They've both seen better days, in my opinion. And yeah, very good tag team to add to the roster, really. And I'm looking forward to them. Watching more of their matches in the WWF and seeing what happens. Shawn Michaels versus Marty Jannetty, finally. After over a year ago, when he's with the barbershop window, we finally get to see Shawn Michaels versus Marty Jannetty one-on-one at a pay-per-view, and the title's on the line. The Intercontinental Championship that Shawn Michaels has held and done a great job with so far. Yeah, very good match, and Sherry plays a great part in it as well. Really enjoyed it, and it looks like they're going to carry on with it more. I know there's more on Raw, and we'll get to those shows eventually. But yeah, this was very good. Very good match. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the Sherry bit right at the end where she turns on Shawn Michaels and goes to hit him with the shoe and misses and hits Marty Jannetty, and then Shawn just hits him with the Sweet Chin music, which hasn't really become a thing yet. He was using that suplex, remember that? And then, yeah, he eventually uses that kick, but uses it right here to get the win. 1, 2, 3, still the champ. And yeah, the brawl continues backstage after Shawn confronts Sherry backstage, and Marty Jannetty jumps him and they brawl backstage. You didn't really see much of that back then, really, brawling backstage, especially at pay-per-views. Didn't really happen as much back then, really. So it was cool to see that as well. Then we get another debut. There's a lot of debuts on this show. A lot of new people, a lot of new faces coming into the WWF on this pay-per-view. Another one to add to that list. Bam Bigalow is back. yeah, haven't seen him for a couple of years. It's been a while. Great for him to be back in the WWF. He's a heel now, no more Oliver Humperdinck. And yeah, he's looking good, and he absolutely dominates the Boss Man in a great match with two big men. Really enjoyed it. Two of the best big men you're going to see of all time. This was phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, good way to get Bigelow over, and yeah, looking forward to seeing more from Bam Bam. Yeah, good to see him back. So, in my opinion, this is his best run in the WWF. Yeah, right up until he faces Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, in the main event of WrestleMania 11. Can't wait for that. Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon for the championship. Razor Ramon's only been in the company for a couple of months, and already he's in the main event. They're expecting big things from this guy. They're putting him right in there. Remember, he was a diamond stud only a couple of months ago in WCW, like in dark matches, and couldn't get on pay-per-views, and yeah, it was just embarrassing for him. Now look at him. Look at what they've done with him already in a matter of months. He was pretty much co-main event in the Survivor Series in a tag match, in one of the best matches of the night, with Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect, and then you're putting him in here with the championship on the line and looking like a credible champion as well, looking like he could actually win the belt. You're thinking, yeah, he could actually beat Bret Hart here. It could be Bret Hart's last night as champion. This was a very good match. Bret Hart, yeah. Of course, it's Bret fucking Hart. We know it's going to be good. Every match Bret's in, he's going to make it a very good match, especially in pay-per-views. He cares about his craft. And he's one of the, in my opinion, one of, if not the best of all time. He's right up there. In-ring work, just phenomenal. This was a good match, no doubt. And probably the majority of the work went to Bret Hart. Praise goes to Bret, but Razor was there too. He put on a good show, looked strong, bumped when he needed to, worked when he needed to. This was fantastic. Great finish with Bret Hart putting the sharpshooter on the floor. Yeah, when they were both lying on the mat, I mean, and then, yeah, Razor taps out or gives up. Phenomenal, good match. Really enjoyed it. This was a strong start for a Royal Rumble. And then we go to the Royal Rumble itself. Number 1, Ric Flair. Number 2, Bob Backlund returning. Another return. Another surprise. Bob Backlund is back. 43 years old. They kept mentioning that like that's some big deal. Pretty sure there was a couple of other guys in that match that were knocking on 40 at least, minimum. Come on. How old's Flair? How old's Savage by now? Surely they're getting there or thereabouts. There's a few others in there. Carlos Colon. Gorilla Monsoon called him a young man. Come on. Surely he's knocking on 40 or in mid-40s by now in 1992 or 1993. This was enjoyable though. There's some good names in there, definitely. I said Ted DiBiase, Jerry Lawler, another one. How old's Jerry Lawler by now? But anyway, yeah, Jerry Lawler in the WWF. The king of Memphis wrestling, and yeah, that's dead by now, isn't it? Pretty much. Yeah, in comes Jerry Lawler into the WWF. Big name, really, when you think about it. And him and Ric Flair have a big square off. That was pretty interesting. If you look back at their history, yeah, that probably made people like, wow, look at that. Mr. Perfect was in there. He eliminates Ric Flair. That was pretty interesting. And we know what happens the next night. One of the best matches ever to take place on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. Can't wait to watch that again. That was phenomenal, that match. Really good. Really good. And one of Bobby Heenan's best nights. Who else is in there? Terry Taylor. Erwin R. Shyster, Tatanka. Typhoon, Fatu, Earthquake, Rick the Model Martel, Yokozuna, the eventual winner of the match. His first ever Royal Rumble, second pay-per-view. They skyrocket in the sky to the moon pretty much, aren't they? They can, yeah. And then why not? Look at it, he was so phenomenal as a big guy. Like, the things he could do was amazing. And in this match, what he did, belly to belly suplexed Earthquake out of the ring. That was just unbelievable. The way he threw Owen Hart over the top rope, and I'm pretty sure just destroyed Owen Hart's knee. I'm pretty sure he gets injured after that, if I'm not mistaken. He must do, because, yeah, that was just nasty. Yeah, pretty much eliminated quite a few. Earthquake, Carlos Colon, Tito Santana. Yeah, they all fell. And so did Bob Backlund to Yokozuna. Shame, really. Out went Bob Backlund. He went from number 2 all the way to the end, pretty much. I'm pretty sure he broke Ric Flair's record or got close to it. Yeah, he did. He beat it. Went an hour and 1 minute, beating Ric Flair's record from the year before. That gets broken by, well, say the least. We'll get there. We'll get to that when we get to it. No, I'm not saying who breaks that, but yeah, Bob Backlund holds that record for over, well, around 11 years. Let's say he holds that record for 11 years. So that's pretty phenomenal considering the next 11 years, really. Great feat there from Bob Backlund, and it's cool to see him back. Really enjoyed him in this match. Everyone he went up against, especially at the end there with Yokozuna, when he was trying to eliminate him, that was just great. And then, yeah, Yoko just absolutely destroys him and just throws him over. And then Savage at the end. How many Rumbles has Savage been in? How long has Savage been around that he doesn't know the rules of the Royal Rumble? Come on. The finish of this, man. Savage hits the elbow, and he goes and pins Yokozuna. Why? Why would you do that? It made no sense. It was ridiculous, and a ridiculous finish to the match. I get the feat of strength thing, yeah, where you can pick him up and throw him over the top rope from the floor. That was pretty cool to see, but yeah, ridiculous finish. Like, Savage doesn't know the rules and goes to pin Yokozuna. Come on, behave. He knows what he's doing, but everyone else knows the rules. Well, it's just a spare of them. We're supposed to think it's a spare of the moment thing. Savage pins him, just loses his mind for a moment, and it's just instinct, and he just pins him. No, I'm not buying it. It was the one thing that ruined this match or put a dampener on the show was this moment right at the end. But yeah, right person won. I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with Yokozuna and his run as champion that lasts. His first run lasts so long and it's so good, and yeah, I can't wait. He goes to WrestleMania, wins the title, and that run is just amazing, isn't it? Can't wait to see it. Gonna be fantastic. What can go wrong, brother? See you next time.